What is it that you're doing here, Michael?
Well, there are these little pieces of grass that have come in here, and I'm trying to get them out because I had periwinkle that I put here. By the way, periwinkle has about 3 different names: periwinkle, myrtle, and can't think of the other name at the moment. And there's vinca major, vinca minor. Now this is vinca minor because the leaves are small. The vinca major would have large leaves, but the septic tank is down here, and that's why I planted the vinca. And this plant, which is St. John's wort, has come there on its own. I never planted it.
St. John's wort.
St. John's wort.
It just appeared here magically one day?
Well, no, not just one day. I mean, I suppose the wind or the birds brought seeds and put here. And you know, that's something people use for medicinal purposes. It has a yellow bloom when it blooms. Very pretty.
You could make a lot of money from that stuff.
I don't know.
So what about the rest of your garden here? Would you like to show your loyal viewers what you've been
loyal
doing?
Viewers.
Yes.
Oh, of course.
Well, hurry it up.
All right. Well, look, we'll come over here. This is the small vegetable garden over here.
You have to speak louder over this way.
All right, this is the small vegetable garden, as I call it. And I have a gorgeous stand of larkspur right now. Mostly blue, but you see some pink scattered in with it. And they come back every year. They produce a lot of volunteers. But anyway, you see I have onions, and then I have some lettuce. I have 6 kinds of lettuce, and this is arugula that's going to seed.
What does that mean, going to seed?
Well, did you see the blossoms I just picked off? That's what it means, going to seed. It'll grow up taller and have seeds on it, and then if you dry those seeds, that you could plant them. And then these are leeks. They look like onion tops, but those are onions over there. These are leeks. And then this is a row of beets, and they're red beets at the far end and yellow beets at this end. And then this is a row of carrots. And then these are sugar snap peas that are in bloom. You eat the pod and all. I didn't have good luck with my string beans. There's a row here of string beans, but then the second row is very spotty. And then cabbage, red cabbage and regular, but there again, the bugs have been working and I haven't dusted it. And,
Well, what's wrong with you?
well, I just haven't gotten to it. And then pepper plants, and then 2 more rows of string beans, and then this is a whole row of zinnias that were volunteers, and
Now, what does that mean when it's a volunteer?
they came up from seeds from last year, scattered around here in the garden when I first worked it up in the spring, and then I let it sit for a few weeks, and there were little volunteer plants all around. So I dug all the zinnias that I saw, and I put them in a row. But I also sowed about a half a row of zinnia seeds that I had bought. And so when they get a little larger, I'll transplant them and bake them into a row.
Now, how about over this way?
This is Cosmos, that also volunteers. Merlin, great day. Look at you. All right. And then these are Cleome, C-L-E-O-M-E, but most people call them spider plants. And those are all volunteers that I put in the row. And then I planted a row. Those were some of those Haitian spinach plants, and I kept them too long, and they don't look very good. They were volunteers too. Now I've got a row of spinach I planted here, and I planted another row of beets. I don't know. I didn't write it down this
Why don't
time.
we go over this way? Because I
And-
think there's
okay.
other things here.
And the first time ever in my life I've had Swiss chard. The lady at Spencer's Bazaar gave me that Swiss chard. And those are eggplants, and look, I dusted them. You see how there's hardly any leaves on them?
I see.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh my God.
And then zucchini down there. Here's one little lone larkspur here. And then this is all Jerusalem artichokes. And they really will take over. Now here are my tomato plants that we don't have any tomatoes yet. The earliest I ever had a fresh tomato was June the 17th. But I have a few green ones.
What about coming back this way? Because I
Yeah.
think there's more stuff here.
Well, but look at my nice row of larkspur again there.
Oh,
Yeah,
isn't that lovely?
Isn't that pretty?
It's lovely.
I love the blue. Well, now I haven't done as much work down here lately. This is a little sickle pear tree. They're small pears. They'll come on probably in August sometime. They'll be about 3 times the size they are right now. And they're very sweet. And I'm very fond of them. So then these are just fruit trees. Those first 2 are sweet cherries, and we did have some sweet cherries, but they haven't been sprayed. So I stood there and ate a few, and the birds ate a lot.
Oh my God.
And
You
then
didn't share.
I took 3 in for Mother. There's a limb that's dead too. I need to cut out of there. The first tree is Royal Anne, and then the other tree is Bing. And then these are some peonies, but I'm going to move them this fall. And I had that was weed free, but it's not weed free now. And these are damson plum trees that were volunteers, and I've just let them stay there. And I have 12 more tomato plants here. Most of those other tomato plants are heirloom. And these are Rutgers and Celebrity, I think. And then I have a lot of my seeds rotted in the ground because we had so much rain. My yellow squash and zucchini, the cantaloupe and watermelon, almost all rotted in the ground.
Oh my
And
God.
this is a row of raspberries. And Clifton was here to help me. And 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was not a weed in there, not one weed. We worked and cleaned that up. And I was going to get mulch and put down. I didn't get the mulch. So the weeds have come back. And then here's some of my corn. And I put in a new row of strawberry plants. But they haven't done too well. And the first 10 plants were a special called Whoppers. Those would be a very large berry and very sweet, and none of them lived.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Not one of the 10 plants that were special, the Whoppers, as they were called, they all died.
Why are they called Whoppers?
Because they're big. They're real large berries.
Are they delicious?
Supposedly, according to the catalog. And
Do you believe everything you read in the catalog?
Must be true, it's in print. So anyway, I've got the first row of corn is a 70-day corn, and then all the rest of the corn is
Now, what does that mean when it's 70 days?
from the time you plant it until you can start eating it. It takes about 70 days. So that's quicker than a lot of
Now, I believe you had some corn this afternoon, didn't you?
Uh-huh.
And how did that compare to your corn?
Oh, it was just so-so. It was nothing to brag about. It was yellow corn, but I mean, sometimes yellow. Well, it hadn't been cooked enough for one thing. It was almost raw, the ear I had. Now the rest of the corn is incredible. Look at Merlin. And so you see, here's my latest. I've got 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th planting of corn. And either this evening or tomorrow, I'm going to plant 2 more rows of corn. That'll be the 5th planting. Those things you see out there, those are sunflowers that were just volunteers. And I went around them with a rototiller. And here's a whole mess of mint.
Wow.
Isn't this a lot of mint?
What are you going to do with all this mint?
Just look at it, I guess, and smell it. And then this is where I had about a row and a half of cantaloupes and about a half a row of watermelons. And one watermelon plant, one watermelon seed germinated and one cantaloupe germinated. All the rest rotted, so I bought plants and I put in there. And I've got some more to set out too. And then my strawberries, they really look awful now. So I'm going. This is the 3rd year for these strawberries. So I'm going to plow about half of the row up, because the new strawberry plants are not doing too well, and I want strawberries next year, and there'll be new plants and runners along the edge. So I might plow up this whole row. I don't know. We'll see. And I'm gonna And then we've had enough asparagus to eat. Mother and I have had enough asparagus almost every day from the end of April till now. But I'm starting to let it go. You see here it's getting ferny. But I need to get the weeds out of here, so I'm gonna...
Well, you better get busy.
Yeah, and look at my volunteer sunflowers that have all come up here.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. Now, if we walk down here, there's some pretty daylilies. Oh, this oak leaf hydrangea. Oh, I think it's... There's one, but this one is huge. Don't you like that?
It is beautiful.
And do you smell it?
Well, I can smell it, but I don't think these people who are watching
isn't that
can.
Pitiful. There's a maple tree that's coming up in there that I hadn't noticed before.
How would you describe the smell?
I don't know that I can. It just is a pleasant smell. That's all. And here's a dogwood tree that was very pretty in the spring. It also was a volunteer that I transplanted here. It's white. Now all of these bushes need trimming. They haven't been trimmed. Oh, here's a yellow daylily that's very lovely. And you see these things? I did not, years ago I didn't know what they were, and I would pull them up. They're milkweed, and that's what the monarch butterfly feeds on, is the milkweed. And so I just leave the milkweed. Diane said that I was doing a good thing, and I was really helping the monarch butterflies.
Now, how about these solar panels here?
Yes.
What would you like to say about them?
Well, they help keep our electric bill more moderate. I mean, we still have a bill, but it's not as high as it would be otherwise. And
the sun is in this in my way over here, so we're gonna have to move.
Okay.
All right.
Now I need to get up here. This is a Russian olive, and I don't ever remember planting it there, and the top has broken off. So
Now, do you think you don't remember because you're losing your memory, or is it just that you've got so much stuff?
Oh, I don't know. It could be some of both. Now, do you know what this is I just pulled out?
I have no idea.
This is pokeweed, and it'll have purple berries on it if you let it.
Can you eat the berries?
No, I think it's poisonous, actually.
Oh.
And
All right, I think this is long enough.
and this is a mulberry volunteer, and they're trash trees.
Okay.
Are we done?
Yes.
Oh, here.